Hello everyone and welcome to another Mech Merlin build stream. Today I am building a board that I haven't built in quite a long time. I actually think this is one of the very first boards I built when I first entered this hobby. Of course, what am I talking about? I am talking about the Whitefox from Input Club. Check it out, guys. Yeah, a customer recently sent me a build. I believe he had some Input Club switches on it, and now he wants to convert it over to SOHO switches. Right, but first, before we continue, we have to answer the most important question. What is Merlin drinking today? Let's see, let's turn on some music for you all. Here we go. Let's see, I see a couple people online already. I see let's go to the top of the chat. Trinity1, Duncan Yo-Yo, Dubber345, Keygem, Deceased FN. Thanks guys for joining in. But yeah, today's drink is once again another new drink on the channel. I was at Costco yesterday and saw this in their refrigerated section. Not a wine, not a ginger beer, not alcoholic at all, but something fairly nutritious. It's got 15 billion live probiotics. This is the Mango Lassi from Da. And to be honest, I think the main reason why I picked it up was because of this pun. Check it out on the back. It says it's delicious. Burn in the ham, using up his redeemed hydrate 200 points. Let me pour my drink first before I start hydrating. Here we go. Let's do this. All right, that's 3 sips. 3 sips. No wait, that's just 2 because I see another one. A nifty V123. Oh wait, it said I needed to shake it first. Shake vigorously before enjoying. All right. Let's shake it. There we go. That should be enough shaking. Should be enough shaking. The cashier at Costco said that she really liked this too and was like, hey, just be aware it can be a little bit sour. I'm like, okay. Well, here, let's try half a glass first. Like, what if I don't like it, right? What if I don't like it? Smells like mango for sure, like a very creamy mango. Like, I've had lassi before, but it's been such a long time that I've forgotten how it tastes. Yep, it's definitely sour. But it's good. I can taste that mango. It's like drinking a ripe mango shake, I guess. Anyway, yeah, let's see if I'll keep drinking it. Who knows? It's a little too sour for my taste. Apparently it's 100% grass-fed, super healthy stuff. Amount per serving, 160 calories, 4 servings per container. So what I poured for myself, I guess, is roughly 1 serving. I wonder if I could mix it with milk or something. Milk or additional cream just to take away some of that sourness. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this goes throughout the stream. Anyway, let me show you the keyboard, guys. So way back in the day when I first entered this hobby, Whitefoxes were already a fairly common board. Fortunately back then it didn't come in such a nice case like these guys do. So here we go. If you go back to the website, look, for 170 bucks, you can basically get the keyboard sans switches, I believe. And you not only get keycaps, but you also get a fancy case like this. It's by no means is it as protective as the TX keyboards, but it gets the job done. There we go, let's open it up. Woo! They're the stock Whitefox caps. These are PBT cherry profiles. Comes with a USB-C cable. And the customer has sent me these SOHO switches. Oh, look. There's also feet for it. Here, let's talk a little bit about these SOHO switches. If you have never heard of SOHO switches, these are basically just a JWK recolor. In fact, they were... Who did these? Think of it, Switch Couture, yes. Basically, these are JWK Durock linears, just with colors to match his actual website. They're available in 62 and 67G. Let's see, any other information here? I believe they were a smoky housing featuring Durock's creamy green linear stem. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, it's pretty much like your typical JWK switch. Yeah, we'll see how this goes for him. Dubber says, Mango Lassi is Pog, I know, right? Bacon and Tuna says, I wonder how it compares to the case the NK65s are coming in these days. I've got one of those cases, and they are roughly the same, though I would probably give a few extra points to the NK65 case. NK65 case seems a little bit more protected than this. At least from the top. Like, this one as a whole, I feel it does a better job. We'll see. Okay, I should not trigger my keyboard here because it'll mess up the stream. Let's put the cable away first. And yeah, these look to be... I think these are the Halo switches, if I'm not mistaken. Or not the Halo switches, it's the one from Input Club. I forget what they're called. They're box switches. Let's pull out the board for you all to see. There we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I am the owner of a Whitefox that was sold during round 2, and I can already say that it's not as nice as this. Produced by Mateo and Input Club. Whitefox Vera. Very cool. As you guys can see, the Whitefox is a low profile board with 0-degree angle, unless you put the feet in. All that. And unfortunately, it is plate mounted stabilizers. So yeah, let's go take apart this board. I see he's kept only 2 of the screws in, 1 on each side. So let's unscrew it really quick. Let's unscrew this bad boy. Got the right head. Nope, it's too small, need a bigger head. Let me lower my lighting a little bit here. That's the thing with silver keyboards. Now, since I have my lighting right on top here, if I have a silver board or like a white board or white keycaps, it tends to not show as well. Here we go. Let's put this here for the time being. Any more screws? Nope, no other screws. There we go. That's the back. I'm noticing that the board seems marked with this pink marker of sorts. Don't know why that was done. But yeah, this should be a fairly quick build. Hopefully, we'll see. Dubber says, do any of you guys know anyone who has the preference of low profile versus high profile? Personally, I don't. Like back then, sure, but these days not too many. Trinity1 giving me 300 bits. Thank you so much for your cheer, dude. Yeah, so... Oh, not sure if you guys can tell, but this is another example of a board that's not been traced very properly. As you can see, all the traces just go zigzaggedy around the entire board. But yeah, first things first, we gotta desolder this whole thing. Shouldn't be too bad. And look, that's the bottom case right there. Dubber345 has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at that. Yeah. It's kind of giving me back memories. Like, this was probably... I don't know, when I first got into custom keyboards, this was probably the only one that you could readily purchase. Everything else was like, oh, group buy of 7 months, 1 year, blah 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 blah. And as a newcomer, that wasn't very enticing, you know? So having something like this was great. Camping campfire, redeemed hydrate. All right, drink another sip of my mango lassi. I feel like the more I drink it, the less sour it becomes. Alright, let's get my desoldering gun right here. Camping Campfire says, have my films arrived yet? Not that I've seen. Brabcat says, what do you do with all these mechs that I build? Most of them these days are actually customer builds. I personally haven't bought too many boards in the last year, pretty much. Alright. Just gotta heat up the desoldering gun before we continue. And let's move the drink somewhere far away. Deborah says, is Rona kicking in? Probably. Alright, come on, desoldering gun, heat up. Oh yeah, let me grab a Ziploc bag to throw these guys in. I forget what these switches are. I think they were a variant of the Halo switch, but made by Kale in the box format. Forgot what they're called. If anyone in chat knows what these switches are called, feel free to post it in. I've noticed it takes about a minute for this gun to like heat up. And there we go. The red light just went off, so that means it's good to go. What I have here is a Hako FR300. Had it for about 2 years at this point. Saved me a lot of times. Okay, here goes. Desolder. Actually, no, wait. Before I actually desolder it, I'm gonna test that the board works first. Cover all my bases here, you know, because like, what if I desolder it and it doesn't work? Then was it because I desoldered it, or was it broken to begin with? Let's just be absolutely sure about that. Bacon Tuna says, did you end up picking one of the Adeli boards on CK this morning? Don't recall what your thoughts were. I'm not a big 40% person, and as much as I like how the board looks, I feel like I'd buy it only to like have it displayed on my shelf back there, and that robs someone of an opportunity to own one. So I'd honestly rather not do that. Alright, let's check that this board works. Let's open up Bia so we can test it. Test. Here we go. Key tester. What key is that? Okay, looks like it's HHKB style. What the heck? That's not triggering either. He's got some keys that don't trigger. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's his FN key to access his function row. So what are these? What do these 3 keys do? They're not registering as anything. Are they also function keys? No, they're not. I don't know what they do. They're not macros either. Maybe they control lighting? Who knows? Who knows? You know what? I'm gonna check. Just gonna check the Whitefox really quick. What is the Whitefox default key map? Whitefox key map default. Let's just see what these are. Dubber says, could anyone explain to me the difference between retooled blacks and pre-tooled? I have some, I think, pre-tools from a GAT 1800. So whenever you make switches, plastic materials in general, you need to have a mold and you need to have tooling that consistently remakes like the housing, the stem, and all that stuff. Over time, these components wear out. So we don't really know how long it takes for them to wear out. Maybe it's years, maybe it's decades, who knows. But over time they do wear out and you want to, quote unquote, remake the tools, also known as retooling. So the difference between pre-tooled and retooled is that pre-tools are probably stuff that's already been in production for a long time, and retool is switches that were manufactured right after all this equipment was remade. Bacon and Tuna says, Static Age is literally a stab that Merlin got from another enthusiast. A couple of folks redeemed it in one of the last streams. Okay, default mappings. Definitely look at your manual here. Here, let me show you guys what I'm staring at here. Please see the Whitefox, Nightfox wiki. Here we go. Assembly layout. I believe this was the... I don't even know. Look at that. Oh, I think they're like media keys. But that should have triggered something then. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on here. They're probably media keys, because it doesn't make sense that it's just those 3 keys. That would be odd. Alright, well, let's get to desoldering them. Frozen Cello has followed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get to desoldering this guy. Yep, there we go. Since these are 3-pin switches, it should be relatively easy to pop them out. I hope. We'll see if that actually happens. Nate says, typing from a finally flashed meteor, this board is fantastic. Don't forget to put that PR in, fixing up that readme, because others will most likely have the same question as you. If you need help filing that PR, just let me know. Frozen Cello says, what's the best desoldering equipment if we can't afford this Hacko gun? Basically just a desoldering pump that you can pick up anywhere from like I've seen it as low as $2 to as expensive as 30. But you can also pick up the ones that are kind of like a desoldering pump and a desoldering gun all in one. Those are typically around 25 to about $50. Both work about the same, but the reason why I've got this is because it's so much faster. I almost don't have to think. Nate says, PR is accepted, confirmed, but not merged. Merge is blocked, I guess, right now. Ah, yes. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right. Nifty, just finished a 75% build. Does anyone know where I can get a wrist rest for that size? Check out Teal Technics. He's located in Pennsylvania. And also Orcus Keyboards. Orcus Keyboards is located here actually in Washington. You might have seen some of their products on drop in the past. I'm assuming Bacon and Tuna responding to Big Skid Row's talking about the Adeli. Yeah. I try to clean this up every row on a 65%. Camping Campfire says KBD Fans has a wooden one. Ooh, okay. That's another one. Wabcat says Kensington Ergosoft for only 15 bucks. That's another option. But I believe he did ask for a wooden one. I'm not sure if the Kensington ones are made out of wood, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. No, you don't need a wooden. Oh, okay, then there we go. Use the Kensington one. He says it's super high quality. Can't recommend it enough. As you guys don't see, I don't really use any wrist rests. I really should though. It's better ergonomically. Alright, we're on our last row. Pretty, pretty, pretty. It looks like someone had trouble soldering the spacebar switch in. Camping Campfire says, "There's noticed you repping the Southpaw." Oh yeah. It's actually one of my favorite boards right now. Speaking of the Southpaw, the revision 2 will be coming out shortly. And I'm supposedly getting a prototype of sorts by next month. So you guys can check it out. Alright, I think I desoldered everything. Looks like it. Alright, let's unscrew this screw right there and see if the PCB just lifts up. If I did this correctly, the PCB should just lift right up. There we go. And does it? It does not. I probably have something there. Examine. And probably missed a switch of sorts. Let's see. Yeah, it still feels pretty tight on there. guess I won't really know if I missed a switch until... Here, let's just pop them all out first. Just to be safe. Camping Campfire says, getting quotes right now for it, but you didn't hear it from me. What did you say? Alright. Interesting. Oh, I just noticed. Or I just remembered actually, one feature of the Whitefox is that the plate is cut so that the switches can be switch top removable. So if you ever want to change your spring or the top of your switch or the stem or just want to film it, you can absolutely do that after soldering. Man, I feel like I've desoldered everything already, but I don't understand why it's still stuck on. Everything seems to lift up just fine here. Let's see. Let's just pry it off slowly. Gion Works, Charlie Hush, and Clyback. And it's Uito has followed. Thank you. Thanks for your support, guys. There it is. It's coming off. Slowly but surely it's coming off. I feel like something's holding it in place in the middle. I can't be sure. I'm just gonna go over it again with the desoldering gun just to be sure. Just to be sure. Bobcat says, I converted another person to the Kensington Wrist Rest fam. Congratulations. You'll never take me alive. So out of curiosity, how many people here have ever owned a Whitefox? Or have thought about buying one? At this point, this is a fairly dated board. I'd say like most people are more familiar with the alt, with the drop alt, which is basically just a iteration of the same design, in my opinion. Some would argue it's not. Guess it's kind of a point of contention. Never a Whitefox. Not me, only customs for you. Never a Whitefox. Nifty, never even heard about it until today. Dang, dude. Oh, I guess I turned it off. Bacon and Tuna gifted a tier 1 sub to Gion. It's their first gift sub in the channel. Congratulations. go. It's starting to loosen up here. There's definitely something going on this bottom row. Let me try and redo some of this. Okay. Okay. Don't know. There's something going on with the bottom row right here. I think it's this switch that's holding everything else in place because everything else looks looser. So what I'm going to do is actually solder him back in and then desolder again. Camcorder says, what's this tool you're using? This is an FR300. Camcorder says, where's your magic mech suit? Magic mech suit? Don't know what that is. Alright, we're just gonna solder this one guy in really quick, and then desolder him again. I really think it's that guy. I guess I'll find out soon. There we go. Okay. Oh, camcorder. I am a streamer for mechanical keyboards. That's what the mech means. It's not for mechas. I don't even have like a gunpla collection. Oh, there we go. That's better. Yeah, if you're looking for mechs, that's probably at the wrong channel here. Anyone know any like gunpla channels? Oh, there we go. What the heck? Yeah, it's definitely something to do with this guy right there. Let's try it again. Oh, there we go. I guess it was just the stabilizer that was getting in the way. There we go. We got it out. Woo! Let's see what's sworn. Is the desoldering gun worth it? I think it's worth it if you do a lot of builds like me, to be honest. Like, if you build for customers and your customers want you to desolder boards, it is absolutely worth it. There we go. Yeah, like honestly, if you can get good at using a regular desoldering pump, the regular desoldering pump and a soldering iron, like what? How long did this take me to do? I started around 1:30. It's now 2:12. Took me half an hour to do it. If I just had the bare necessities without the FR300, this probably would have taken me an additional half hour or a little longer. Nate says, get good. Well, you know, there is some truth to that statement. You don't go run a marathon without training for it first. Like, you know, like you don't expect to do better than a lot of people without training. So you gotta invest time in yourself first. Nate said, I'd rather buy another keyboard. Yeah, at that cost, you know, you just really have to wonder. $300 or another keyboard? Like, honestly, if you're not doing this on a regular basis, you should just buy another keyboard. But if you're gonna end up wrecking keyboards because you can't desolder very well, then yeah, you might want to consider buying one of these. Are those box whites? No, because they're tactile. I thought they were box whites at first. But no, these are very noticeably tactile. Box whites are somewhat tactile too, but it's not very noticeable. And they click as well. These don't click. Yeah, I think these are they're the input club switches, which I forget what they're called. They're Halo something. Jaden Mizal has subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, man. Let's see. If they're IC, then they're Hacko Clears. Yeah, I think they are Hacko Clears. You may be right. Camcorder says, Macmerlin, what's your stance on artsy keycaps? You mean like artisans? I am not much of an artisan collector. Like, I think they're cool and all, but I probably wouldn't spend any money on them. Like, I don't think I've ever gone out of my way to buy one. They've all just been like gifts, or, you know, someone was like, oh, Merlin, you won a raffle, here you go. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think that's one part of this hobby that I've never really gotten into. Like, I've gotten into PCB design, gotten into the keycap, keyboards, but like artisans, nope. All right, got all of his switches out. I'm actually gonna clean up his PCB before I do anything here. Because I noticed that whoever soldered it seems to have had trouble on several switches, and I just want to get all that excess flux off first before I start soldering. And I'm just looking at his stabs here. They don't seem lubed at all. Oh my word. Oh my. Unlubed stabs. Okay. Let me take those out. Alright, here we go. We will have to lube these. These are completely stocked and they're not clipped at all either. Okay. We can work on those, but first let's clean up this PCB. Clean up the PCB. Swamel says, can't you just reapply some super lube? I wouldn't be reapplying just because there was never lubed just to begin with. Brush, 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 brush. Yeah, it seems like this was definitely not a brand new PCB. I can see that someone struggled to actually solder in switches on, I guess this would be the rightmost column, and along the bottom row. I can usually tell because of the excess flux. So the excess flux that like builds up is usually a result of maybe using too high of a temperature on your iron, or you've left your soldering iron there a little long. I see quite a few spots here. I see it all across the rightmost column. I say rightmost column because this is how the board is. Rightmost column, along the space bar, and on the arrow keys, but the alpha keys all look relatively fine. Bob says the toothbrush is the most sacred keyboard maintenance tool. Bacon and Tuna says, what percentage alcohol solution are you using? I use some isopropyl. I'm using 99%. Tom Lucitor redeemed hydrate. Thank you, man. Let me drink my mango lassi. Yep, it's still sour. Still sour. I think the next time I drink this, I might mix it with some milk. Definitely make it taste better. Clean up the PCB. That's funny. I also notice a lot of pink markings everywhere. So I wonder, and they all seem to coincide with the ones that have excess flux residue. So I bet some kind of a resolder job had already occurred on this board. But we will clean all of that away. I'd like to get this board to as clean a state before I start soldering. And then of course I will clean it once again just to get rid of any excess flux that I've used up. See, everyone's saying latte. It's not a latte, it's a lassi here. It is a Indian beverage that I picked up from Costco. Here we go, look at that. It's made by Da, organic, India-style, 100% grass-fed lassi, 15 billion live probiotics. Picked this up from Costco. 2 of these were $7. So just giving it a shot. I don't drink lassi very often. I think the last time I drank lassi was probably around... Man, at my old job, we used to go to this Indian restaurant, so this would put me at around 2014, 2015 time period. That's probably the last time I drank lassi. Good stuff. You guys ever get the chance, try it out. Camping says, I believe Russia has a similar drink. The reason why you want to do Q-tips again after the fact is I've broken up a lot of the hardened flux, and that spreads it all around the PCB, and you know it's spread because your PCB starts to feel sticky. So we just want to get rid of all that. You'll know that you're picking it up because your Q-tip starts to turn a little yellowish brown. Yep. Does this damage the PCB? No, it does not. It actually cleans the PCB. In fact, you do this so that the PCB doesn't get damaged. Leftover flux residue can in time corrode. So imagine like all of your joints having this excess flux there. Over time it will just corrode, and one of these days you might notice that your board isn't responding to like any of the key presses. Camping says, I don't think I told you this yet, but I'm doing a raffle for Kiwis. Ooh. Interesting. This is the Whitefox 1.1b. I feel like they've progressed past that, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. JRSVT. It's been a long time since I've seen you. How you doing? The routing on this is insane, yeah, because it's not really routing, it's auto routing. Oh, camping, send it to me via DM here on Twitch. Yeah, I've had people post links that were quite unsavory, so I usually only let mods do it. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh, still a little bit of stickiness. Like, honestly, I can just take care of this later after I've soldered the board, because I will introduce stickiness to it once again. JR says, been on a health kick recently. Got a baby coming in. Congratulations, and some major surgery. Oh no. So I've been out and about as much as possible. Stay healthy and be safe. Yeah. Alright. I think we're good. Hold on. Uh-oh. You guys remember how I said earlier that it looks like someone struggled to solder some switches in? Looks like they struggled a little bit too much. Because when I desoldered the spacebar, I might have lifted that pad. Holy crap. Yeah, that looks like a lifted pad. Here, let me test that. What the freak? let me test that really quick. But that definitely looks like a lifted pad. I guess it just couldn't take it anymore, and just my slight desoldering was enough to take it out. Here, let's check. Keyboards, input club. I want input club. Oh, there we go. I see it. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm looking through. I'm looking through QMK right here. And I'm gonna look at whitefox.h, where the layout macro is, and the spacebar is K17, row 1, column 7. Looks like across all layouts, K17 is the spacebar. Alright, so now I just have to figure out which one got screwed up there. Was it the row or the column? Where's the other one? That would put it at... There we go, okay. Yep, that is 1-7. Yeah, okay, I think it is the row pin that's messed up right there. So if I did want to fix this, the closest thing to fix it to would actually be either that guy, the shift key, or I think that's an N right there. I could, or the QWE, or the E. Okay, so there's a couple places I could tie it to, but it's not. Oh shoot, I was really hoping something would be close by, because all these are kind of far. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's unfortunate. Shoots. See, Bad Star says, do you ever dream about keyboard stuff? Yeah, I think I've dreamt about meetups, actually. I've dreamt about meetups, I've dreamt about missing out on a group buy. But yeah, I've never really dreamed about specific keyboards. Bad Star says, I was dreaming about designing a keyboard. I think I've just been spending a lot of time thinking about keys. Yeah. Alright guys, so what just happened was, I think in the process of desoldering, I lifted his spacebar pad, and normally that doesn't happen, especially since I don't spend too long desoldering stuff like this. But it happens once in a blue moon. I think what happened was because, as I mentioned earlier, his rightmost column and his bottom column looks to have been soldered in, like someone someone did it outside of the factory, and it looked like they struggled. So maybe this was just bad luck on my side that significant heat had already been applied to it, that any additional heat, that was just like the feather that broke the camel's back. So I'm just gonna message the client really quick, ask him what he wants me to do, because I can fix this, can absolutely fix it, but if he wants a new PCB, I don't want to have to desolder it again. So here, let me message him real quick. Hopefully he's on. Oh, and by the way, while I'm doing this, you guys can join this giveaway. This is the giveaway that Camping Campfire talked about. Boom. There we go. Giveaway for the Kiwis. Yeah, unfortunately you don't just join the giveaway, you have to do a film order. Alright, so while I'm reaching out to this customer, you guys do me a favor and click on that link. There we go. Just message the customer, but at this point, I'm not going to proceed until he tells me what to do. But this is really unfortunate. Even cleaned up the PCB. But yeah, you guys can see the desoldered pad right there. It's no longer silver, it's black. So typically the way to repair this is you would solder the switch in. You would solder that switch in, then you would take a wire, you would wrap it around that leg that's right there, and it's a column pin that's broken, so you could take the other end of that wire and solder it to the microcontroller, or you could solder it to another switch that is connected to that same pin. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've already isolated which switches they would be. One of them would be the left shift, or sorry, the right shift. No, left shift. One of them would be E. One of them would be, what else here? One of them would be P. So it would be a really long wire to do it. See, Jajia Guo says, what is the SOHO switch similar to? It is basically a recolored JWK. So just that with a different spring. See, I do think these look really nice. On first glance, you may think that they're actually a Gateron black ink with a different stem. In fact, when I first opened these, I was like, oh, hey, Gateron black inks. Wait, no, they're not. Yeah, they almost look like black inks with the Telio stem. Alright, customer is responding. Yeah, I think I might try and drink this again tomorrow night, but I'll mix it with some milk. Maybe some whole milk. Whole milk would taste good with this, because right now it's a little too sour for my taste. Dog Hair Don't Care says, I have a bunch of SOHOs but don't know what to put them in. Maybe the incoming Space 65. Which SOHOs did you get? Because these come in 62 and 67. See, Dog Hair Don't Care says, I got 62G. XCalcon says, opinions on the Hex 3C. I've forgotten what that board is. I'm gonna have to look really quick. Hex 3C. Here, let's see. This was a group buy that started early September. Ah, here we go. Let's look at this really quick while the customer replies back to me. Simple 60% keyboard designed to challenge the current budget market while offering a better typing experience with its unique mounting system. Ah, it's a burger mounted one. Interesting. Personally, I'm kind of done with 60%. But it looks nice. Additional renders. There we go. Let's make it smaller so we can see. Here we go. Oh, you know, when I look at this, this almost reminds me of kind of like a Brutal. There's very, very sharp edges and corners. This is quite literally just a rectangular block. A rectangular block of aluminum, which is probably why it's gonna be sold for cheap. It doesn't take much just to cut straight edges. Yeah. Let's see, any price on it? Weight is 900 grams. What's the pricing? Timeline. Give me a price. Cost. Price. There we go. The price for the base kit will be 140. Ah, 140 bucks. That's actually not a bad price for a burger mounted board. Personally, I wouldn't buy it just because I'm just over 60%, but if you're looking for a 60% that's somewhat unique, consider this, especially for 140 bucks. Yeah, customer wants me to rewire. Okay, we can do the rewire. So the story behind this board is that he bought it off of Mech Market. There we go. Story of the board is that he bought it off of Mech Market and then he sent it directly to me. So yeah, he was unaware. He was unaware that the column and the bottom row had been resoldered. We'll see. Okay. Well, let's see. Let me... I'm gonna have to find a nice little wire to do this. Yeah, too bad it was not a pin that was connected to the diode, because I could have just connected it to the diode directly. But nope. I actually have to connect it to another leg here. Alright. Alright. Let's see. Customer wants me to remap the keys to the original layout, so I'm just gonna reflash it. Reflash the board, and we'll go from there. We'll flash it with the latest and greatest QMK. Alright, reset. Boop. Alright. Let me just read the Whitefox documentation really quick. Compact 65% board. Yup. Okay. Alright, board's in reset. We're gonna flash it. Let me just verify a few things here. Wait. Hold on. Okay, let's give this a shot. We're gonna flash the board, and hopefully it works. Sometimes flashing ARM-based boards like this guy takes a long time. There we go. Flash. It's flashing and it is done. Perfect. Okay. Let's just test the board again. Let's pull out the handy via. Reset. Okay, where are my tweezers? Here we go. Mr. Pirulito says, what do you think of the kangaroo Gatorons? I have never heard of the kangaroo Gatorons. Go, that's escape key. 1, okay. So the problem that we had last time was these keys did not register as anything. There we go. There we go. Okay. Registered. This guy's all registered. Any chance spacebar will awake? Nope. Spacebar's still dead. I will still have to take care of that. Okay, he wants me to fix this. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm actually gonna put all the switches in first. That's the way to do it. Mr. Pirulito says they're on Monster Gear if you're interested in checking it. Right. And Bessa says, hey Merlin, hello to you too. Alright, here we go. Okay, one thing about the Whitefox that I forgot to mention is that these are all north facing, unfortunately. North facing. How you doing? Doing pretty good? Don't you need to do the stabs first? Not in this case. I can actually do the stabs later because it is a plate mount board. So let's see. We gotta switch that around. Let me take out that via thing. There we go. Is this the same Whitefox from 2016, 2017? I'm not sure. They might have had different revisions by then. Not entirely sure. Actually, I don't need to put them all in the plate first. I can actually just do them one by one. Didn't notice plate mount. Yeah, that's okay. Several drawbacks of the Whitefox, actually. Not only is it north facing, it's also, yeah, it's not only is it north facing, it's also plate mount stabs, and it's not VIA compatible. But I guess we didn't know that until VIA came out. Good thing though, that even though the board was originally meant for, what do you call that? Like, I feel like this board was built for non-5-pin switches. I think this later PCB allows you to do the 5 pins. It is the one I was thinking of. If I recall, it was one of the first widely available 65. Yes, it was. One of the first widely available ones. In fact, there was some professional esports team who used them as well, if I remember correctly. Even before the Tada. Yeah, you're right. Even before the Tada. The only thing that the Tada did better than this was that it was high profile, in my opinion. But for the longest while, the Whitefox was probably the 65% to buy if you were looking for a mass-produced board. I think this became popular around the same time that the red scarves were popular. You guys remember those boards? The red scarf 60 something, I forget. But basically, in order to change your key map, you needed to print to it. You printed your key map to it. Yeah, truth be told, back around 2018 or so, just because a lot of these files are open sourced, I was thinking of buying a Nightfox, which is the black version of this, and CNCing my own plate, making a brass plate for it, calling it the Brass Fox. And I think there were several mods to the Whitefox as well. Someone managed to make a 3D printed frame that would go around here. So you would need longer screws in order to screw it in, but it would effectively make the Whitefox a high profile board. Gold Fox. The Gold Fox. Sounds like some ancient Mesopotamian deity. The Gold Fox is here. Are cherry stabs the best plate mounted ones? Yes, they are. I think Cherry changed wires on plate ones too. Yeah, I don't have too many plate mounted boards. Like, I think the only one that I have that I've recently played with is my NK65. Speaking of NK65, if you guys want the white version, make sure you check it out. Milkshake version. You've got till October 2nd in order to buy it. Whew. Alright, I think the customer sent me exactly as many switches as I need, which is always problematic, you know, because there's always a chance that a switch could be broken. And if that's the case, I need to wait for him to send me even more. So let's hope that's not the case here. Okay, let's get to these stabs. Let's do the stabs now. Stab, stab, stabs. I actually have to clip these. It's been a while since I've had to clip stabs because Durox and C3s don't require clipping anymore. Desoldering sucks, yeah. Desoldering sucks if you don't have the right tool. Like, even if you have the right tool, there's a chance that you can lift a pad and, like, especially if it's already a pad that's on its way out. Here. Alright, where did my flush cutter go? and Besta. Actually, the Magic Force was probably one of the easier boards for me to like desolder. I noticed that they made sure all the pens were like straight, even on the LED. So if you actually desoldered everything completely perfectly, the PCB should just lift right up. And I'm saying that from experience. And hold on, I don't have my flush cutter within reach. Oh, let me grab my flush cutter. Here we go. Flush cutter. How good are Co-Star plate stabs? People don't necessarily like them because they're hard to install, but personally, I think Co-Stars work much better than plate mounted cherries. But yeah, installation is a pain. Don Bro says, I bought Hacko with it. Was more possible. Every other soldering thing couldn't work properly. Yeah, you just have to make sure that your Hacko has the right nozzle. I know that the one that comes stock with it is a little too wide for any kind of LED. Right. Go. I like to use 205G0 when it comes to lubing stabilizer housings. I think that just works better. The big two in the community are TS and the Hacko. Yeah, it's funny because in the electronics community, I see a lot more Wellers. Which is one reason why I picked Weller, but that was also like 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, you know, Weller was also made in the United States. So that might have played a big factor to its popularity. Yeah, I've told myself that if my Weller ever dies, I would switch to the equivalent Hacko. But so far it's been 10 years and my Weller's still going strong. So I don't think my Weller will like ever die. American made, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. If I ever like get tired of my Weller, That so far, it's just worked so well for me. One thing I am noticing is that picking up Weller tips is a lot harder than picking up Hacko tips. I could just wander into my closest fries and there's like a whole aisle just dedicated to like Hacko. But these days, since fries doesn't exist, I'm kind of limited to buying stuff online. So if I'm buying stuff online anyway, it's going to be the same as picking up Weller tips. And Bessel says, something that amazes me from Americans is the Made in America tax. Yeah. Everything's more expensive here. Here in Washington, the sales tax is 10%. Which is both good and bad. Good because I find it easier to like calculate. Bad because it's 10%. Like I feel like when I first arrived here, sales tax was only 8% or something, but it's climbed up significantly. Oh, and the other good thing is no matter which state that I visit, other than New York or California, everything seems a lot cheaper. Like I remember going to Hawaii and like everyone saying, "Oh, Hawaii is so expensive, blah 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 blah." Yes, property is very expensive, but I felt like no matter where I went for food, stuff was cheap. I was like, "Oh, that's totally cheaper than Seattle." Then I went to Texas and then I felt the same thing. I went to Portland, had a similar experience. Went to where else have I gone? I went to Florida. Same thing, yeah. Everything just seemed cheaper than Washington. And then of course I get to California and I'm like, oh, it's just the same here. Just the same. Alright, got that all lubed up. Time for the dielectric. Please don't use a soldering gun to solder a keyboard. You could, but you know, I guess it's like using a sword to cut your steak. Like you could, but okay. Here's the dielectric part. You know, I've said that I've had this tube of dielectric for the longest time. I may have to replace it. Not because I'm running out, I still have like the whole tube left, but it started leaking. I'm kind of like, ew. I've tried putting it in a Ziploc bag and that seemed to help, but then it just made like the Ziploc bag just really sticky. And Bessa says, I cut all my steaks with the sword. Wow. I'd love to see you do like a YouTube video of that. I'm actually kind of surprised that this Whitefox didn't come with lubed stabs. Like, you would think that that's part of the core. It's like, if you buy any OEM board, they have some amount of stab lubing. It may not be the best stab lubing, but it's still some amount of lubing, you know? I'm really surprised that this Whitefox came with nothing. Sixer says, not a bastard sword. Oh my gosh, okay. So as some of you know, I grew up in Taipei, Taiwan, right? Even though I went to like an American school there, it's not like I was completely exposed to American culture or knew a lot of quote-unquote English words, right? So when Diablo 1 first came out, right? When Diablo 1 first came out, one of the items that you can get was a bastard sword. And to me, like looking at it, I was like, oh, bastard sword, it's a unique item. How come it's not colored gold? How come it's just white? And I was really confused for a while. Because in my head, bastard sword meant something like, oh, it was used to kill a bastard, so therefore it's legendary. But no, it's not. It's called a bastard sword because it's a bastardization, I guess, of two types of swords. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a long sword and a broadsword. If anyone knows swords better than me, please chime in. But yeah, for the longest time, especially as a kid, I thought that it was a legendary item that was mislabeled. So I actually thought about writing Blizzard a mail and being like, hey, I think I found a bug. But nope. Was not a bug. It was an actual item. Nate says, I know nothing about swords. Yeah, all of my sword knowledge is from playing RPGs. I'm playing RPGs and watching anime, I guess. Alright, looks like we got all the stabs. All the stabs are lubed up. Let's go put them in. Let's go put them in. Don Bro says, trying to find bugs in games as a kid. Well, yeah, I was always very curious. I remember as a kid getting my first Windows 3.1 computer, I was actually looking for ways to break it. And the reason why I was looking for ways to break it was because if I broke it, I could ask my parents for a newer, faster computer. So yeah, that's what I try to do. See, Sixra says, from the Wikipedia, the French, I don't know how to pronounce those words, épée, bâtard, and the English bastard sword originated in the 15th or 16th century, originally having the general sense of irregular sword or a sword of uncertain origin. Ah! Interesting. There we go. Stabs are in. Let's put the remainder of these switches in. Should just need 3 of them. And yeah, customer did actually send me 2 extra switches. Hopefully I won't need to use them. We'll see though. Alright. All switches in. All stabilizers in. Let's just, for testing sake, test that the stabs work out. Okay, so what he sent me are the original Whitefox keycaps. Gataron says, what are SOHO switches? Also, hello to you too. SOHO switches are JWK recolors that have a smoky housing and a greenish bluish stem. But they are basically JWK recolors, and they were available off of Switch Couture in 62 and 67G. That sounds pretty good. Alright, we're good. Let's try the other guys right here. I need a enter key. Where's the enter key? Or actually a shift key would be good too. Yep, that sounds good too. And last but not least, I need that enter key. Enter, where are you? Aha, enter key. Is there any single person who keeps up with the number of JWKs? JWK probably. Some JWK employee who's been tasked to keep up with all of them. Alright. That's good. Cool beans. You're ready to solder this board up. So just because of that pad being lifted, I don't think I can finish this board during this stream. I would like to pick up a wire that is smaller than what I currently have. But for the time being, I will solder in the rest of the switches, because that really shouldn't take too long. There we go. And meanwhile, I'm just gonna pour myself another glass of this lassi. Or maybe not a full glass, because it is too sour for me, but maybe a quarter glass. There we go, that's good. And Vessel says split backspace. Yep, split backspace. How do you fix a lifted pad? You can't really ever fix it. You need to bring it to a fabrication store or a fabrication factory, and they'll basically cut away at it and put on another pad for you. You can do it yourself too. It's just a really long process, and I think you need to use certain chemicals as well. Not something I'm eager to do. So the only way to quote unquote fix this is to figure out if it is a row pin that's broken or a column pin that's broken, and then tie it to another switch that has the same row, or another switch that has the same column. and I've isolated those two switches. Actually, there's 4 of them. There's the left, no, there's the left shift, there's E, there's P, and there was another switch on the middle row here that I can tie it to. Yeah, Nate says ignore the pads, solder a wire to the switch. Yes, that is the way to do it. It's easier to wrap the wire around the leg of the switch rather than trying to affix it to the broken pad. Yeah, so for those of you guys just tuning in, what happened was, when I first took apart this board, I noticed that the rightmost column and the bottom row looks to have been resoldered somehow. Everything else looked factory soldered, and on top of that, all of the switches that were resoldered had pink marker on them, and the soldering job wasn't very good. It looked like they struggled pretty hard. So when I desoldered it, I think it was just the quote-unquote feather that broke the camel's back. Just that extra heat that I applied lifted the pad, unfortunately. Or even with a $300 desoldering gun, stuff like that does happen. And of course, I always forget to turn on my little fan here. There we go. You saw someone recommend desoldering a gaming keyboard to learn how to solder? That's not a bad idea. But desoldering in and of itself, especially for the untrained, is a more difficult procedure. It's good practice, I guess, especially if you don't care about the gaming keyboard. Personally, I would just walk into like your nearest thrift store and like go into their electronics section and find something there for like $5. There's no need to harm a perfectly fine keyboard, even if it's a gaming keyboard. What about old motherboards? Sure, why not? Though the exact soldering skill that you need for doing keyboards is through-hole soldering. I'm not sure how many old motherboards have through-hole parts. Those clock kits sold on like Adafruit or Amazon will give you enough practice to solder a keyboard, provided you don't have to solder SMD. Yeah, SMD is like the thing that I hate to do the most. It annoys the hell out of me. It takes so long. Just went with the practice 65 and got in on the underscore 33. Donbro says, so much temptation to spend on small Keeb things that you don't have enough to go for the actual expensive boards. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Alex Happy says, Ayo, hello to you too. All right. Alright, almost done with the soldering. right. All right. So I'm purposely not soldering in the spacebar quite yet, because you have to repair it. But we'll solder everything else in. Right. Okay. I'm gonna recheck all of my soldering. Make sure it looks all good. Alright. I think we're good. We're good. Let me just double check. Double check the switches again. Double check the switches again. Let's bring up our favorite tool, Via. Technically, everything here should work except the space bar. Oops. Come on. There we go. Yep, spacebar doesn't work. It's to be expected. And this guy is probably an FN key. Yep, correct. All good. All good. All good. Okay. Let's see. I am just going to mark which switch leg I want to do it to. Let's see. Let's look back at QMK again. Here. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So for those of you who have watched my switch tracing video, the pin that's broken is this guy right here, or the switch that's broken is here. The key located at row 1, column 7. So it's that guy right here in the electrical matrix. So it's the one that's broken. So I need to find another switch where 1 is shared. So in this case, it could be, let's see, we could pick the ARIA one. It would be that guy right there, 1, 4. So that would be caps lock A, S, D, F, G, H. So I would tie it to the H key. And just to verify that, I guess I do have to solder in at least it's one leg. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll solder in just that one leg. Then we'll touch it. We'll touch it with some piece of solder or something. And the H key is ASDFGH. That would be S38. So I need to do S65 to S38. Okay, we can do that. Okay. And just to verify that, here, we are going to try and trigger it. Let's see, do I have a cable that's long enough? I have a wire that's long enough. I don't think I do, so I'm just gonna break off a piece of solder and do it. Actually, hold on. Let's see, do I have any loose wire sitting around that I can just play with here, just to test my assertions? No, I don't. So I'll just use solder. Solder works too. All right, I'm gonna plug the board in like so. And just to verify that the board is plugged in, let's hit a few keys. There we go. Okay. So H key is that guy right there, S38. So I'm gonna hold my space bar. Hold my space bar down to simulate a key press. I'm gonna hold one wire on that leg, like so, and then we're going to press. There you go. You need to tie it around better. I need to make it into a little hook here. There we go. And then put it on. There we go. We got it. It's that H key right there. Let's reset it again so it's cleaner. Yep, that is the connection that we want. Okay, so definitely don't do it with solder. Do it with an actual piece of wire, otherwise things are going to go bad for you. So before I make that connection, I'm going to clean up the PCB again. And I don't think I even have like a piece of wire that's thin enough at the moment. So let me just clean up the rest of the PCB. Isa Shoes, how do you know where the wires are supposed to go? Okay, let me explain that again really quick. If you want to see a more in-depth explanation of this, check out my porting with ports guide, specifically episode 1. But here we go. What I'm looking at here is the layout macro in QMK firmware. And just look at where the spacebar is. This thing right here, K17. K17 stands for the key that is located in row 1, because 171, column 7, like so. So that's in relation to the electrical matrix right here. So it's talking about this guy right there, 17. You can usually tell what pins these are just by looking at config.h, but I've ruled out that it's not the 7 pin that is messed up. That's messed up. It's the 1 pin right there. So the next thing to do is find another switch that shares row 1. So here, left shift shares row 1, right? Because it's 1, 5. What else? This guy at the very top, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or the 0 key. 0 key also shares row 1. But you ideally want this to be the closest key to the switch that's broken. And in this case, it's the H key, which is row 1 as well. So we're jumping it to that. That's how I know. That is the way that you should do it as well. Don't just tie it to any random key. Not the slash key? Well, yeah, I could do that too, you know. Basically anywhere where it shares the same row, you can map it to, but you want to tie it to the closest one. And the closest one I can see is actually the H key. That's like the shortest wire. Like that's barely like 1 inch. If you want to do it to the question mark or slash key, that would be a much longer wire, right? See, because to H is just that long. But to the slash key, it's like that. And if you want to put it to the 0, it's even longer. Frankie went to, so if it was the 7 pin, you should jump that pin to another in column 7. Yeah. For example, here, let's do this. Here, look. So for example, if it was that pin that was broken, that leg, instead of this leg, you would want to look for something that's connected to column 7. So where's the closest column 7? This guy right here. This would be the shortest jump you can do. 0, 7. There's another option right there. 7. Where else do we see 7s here? Oh, right arrow also shares a column 7. In fact, left, down, and right all share column 7. So you could jump it to that. But no, unfortunately, it is row 1 that's broken. 6 says it looks shorter in code. Well, you know, code is just a bunch of text. Code doesn't actually tell you like the physical distance between 2 points. You need to actually look at the PCB. uses, so it functions like a grid matrix. Yes. In fact, if you look at the code right here, this entire section here is called a layout macro. The layout macro consists of two parts. The bottom part is the electrical matrix, quote unquote electrical grid, and the top part is the physical matrix. Electrical matrix is basically how each switch is tied to your microcontroller, and the physical matrix is where each switch is mapped physically on your board. If you lifted a pad, you could do the same thing to fix it. Yeah, if I lifted any of these pads, I would just have to look at this. Like if I didn't have the source code, I would have to figure it out myself by using like a multimeter. Isashu, if you want a better explanation of all this, something that's actually more in depth, look up my porting with ports series. Not the live streams, but the actual tutorial. Each video is roughly 7 minutes long, and I talk about why, how, and tips. Yeah, it's like, honestly, I feel like a lot of wrong information has been put out there. Like, I've seen some people be like, oh, just jump it to the next switch over. And I'm like, how do you know? Did you look at the switch matrix? What's a switch matrix? I'm like, you can't just randomly jump it. Well, technically you can. It's like, just jump it to the next switch, and your key will work. Your key will absolutely work until you flash it again. Yeah, you just have to be very careful. Make sure you tie it to the exact pin. Whew. Looking good. Frankie says, how did I figure out it was the 1 and not the 7? I was using a multimeter earlier just to test it. So either way, you need a multimeter to figure out which pin it is. You know what? Let me post that video up. Here, it's this one right here. Porting with ports, episode 1. There, share, copy. Boom. There we go. Yeah, it's a little. Actually, it's not a little, it's a very technical video, so it may take a few watches to really comprehend. Just to, oh, it's playing, video's playing. Let me pause it. Just to give you an idea, like, I didn't just suddenly get born with this information, you know. It took me, probably took me a couple months to really understand how to do this. So don't feel bad if you don't pick it up in like 2 minutes. All right. All clean. All clean. Do all my joints look good? So another reason why I do this is sometimes like the flux buildup makes it look like that you did a good soldering job. And case in point, this guy right here. Makes it look like you have a nice conical joint, but in fact, half of it is solder and the other half is flux buildup. So you want to make sure you don't do that. Can I show an up close of that? I already fixed it. Sorry, man. Yeah. Yeah, everything else looks fine. Okay, let's see. Do I want an actual wire? I think all I have is this guy right here, orange, and he is stranded. I suppose I could use stranded wire. Just wrap it around multiple times on the leg. Do I really want stranded or should I do solid? I can't decide. Basically, just has to go like that. I'll probably use electrical tape or something just to tape them up. Hold on. Let me get a good... Oh, wait. Let's pour this out first. All right, let's see if I can do this wire. Really only want, yep. Yeah, I said I was just gonna fix this later, but I'm kind of impatient. Let's see if I can do this with what I have first. Oh wait, this was not stranded. Sure, that might actually... work better. So yeah, this kind of repair is never gonna be pretty. To be honest, it's never pretty. Especially if you use thicker wire like what I'm using now. Impasse Net says hello everyone. Hello to you too. Alright, so technically first we want to wrap it around. Wrap it around the wire. So what I like to do here is make a curve so that it hooks onto the leg itself. Yeah, not sure if you guys can see it, but basically I've made like a hook right there. This one will just hook onto there, like so. And I can already tell that my wire here is a little too long. Let's cut it a bit shorter. And let's do that same hook. Let's do that same kind of hook that we just did. Doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's a hook. Okay. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of solder to that H key. Jack Static subscribing for 15 months. Thank you. Thank you so much. Brushing my teeth while soldering bold. Yeah. That's the way the real pros do it, you know. Okay. I think I've applied just enough solder there. Now we're just going to gently lay it down like so. A little bit of flock's good for the gums. Dentist approved. Okay. Then at this rate, I want to see if I can melt the solder a bit. There we go. Add a tiny bit more solder. Yeah, this is actually quite difficult without it being held down. Let's try that again. Yeah, it's like, I feel like if this customer of mine were to ever, what do you call that? Slam on his board, this wire might come undone. You gotta be careful with that. There we go. And I still feel like the wire's a little too long. Oh well. There we go. There we go. And now we gotta do some finger gymnastics. Oh, please work. There we go. Okay, definitely gonna need to support that a bit, but here, let's test it. Let's test it out. Let's bring up our favorite VIA tool. Looks like my music's done too here. Let's play this playlist again. Here we go. And bear witness to see if I fix this or not. I'm gonna press that space bar. Oh, oh, oh! Check it out, y'all. There we go. It's fixed. Okay, I just need to find some electrical tape, I guess, and just really secure that down. Like, I guess at this point I could put regular tape on, just because I'm not really, well, yeah, I think I could actually put regular tape on. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. Ah, it just looks so, looks like it could come apart at any moment if he starts like trying to do like a bunny hop or so when he's playing some FPS. So let's actually add a little bit more solder just to make sure. Let's just add a little bit more. I feel like I need like a third hand here in order to do this properly. No, it came off. Of course it came off. Of course it came off, Merlin. Oh no, it didn't actually. It's connected. Let me just... Whew. Okay. Okay. There's a whole glob of solder there. There we go. Alright, just to make sure I didn't screw that up. Test the board one more time. Awesome. And let's just test the H key. Good, H key still works as well. H and space, H and space. Yay. Worked out. Worked out just fine. Okay. All right. Let's put the rest of the board together, right? Okay, customer wanted some sound dampening foam, so we'll take care of that as well. I feel I've got some solder specs on my desk from all of that. So I'm actually gonna put, here, let's clean up a little bit here. Move all this around. There we go. Protect the bottom of the PCB, the bottom of the keyboard from any solder specks, like so. And let's do some cutting. Alright, so I like to use foam from my local Fred Meyer. For those of you who don't know what a Fred Meyer is, a Fred Meyer is basically a grocery store that sells a variety of items, not just groceries, but electronics, home repair supplies, all that stuff. So I picked up this foam not too long ago. Yes, it's actually called Magic Cover. That's the brand name. Alright, so obviously a little bit too big. That's fine. We can cut it to size, no problem. So that whole roll only cost me like $7. So when is the group buy for the McMerlin Signature Foam? There is actually McMerlin Signature Foam. Do you guys remember MK Ultra when he was first starting out? I bought a few case foams from him just to try it out, and he lasered my logo onto some of them. So I've got like 5 of them, I guess. Here we go. There we go. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I should actually put the feet on first. Put the feet on first. 5-spot, first come, first serve raffle. Yeah. I should sell them for charity or something. Auction off the 5 spots. There we go. Got it in. Hooray! Alright. What foam is that? This foam is Magic Foam. Quite literally. The brand name is Magic Cover, which I picked up from my local Fred Meyer. Quite fitting, if I say so myself. Actually, I probably shouldn't say where I get it and just be like, yeah, it's magical foam. Only available through this channel. Well, 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 what do we have here? Looks like the customer did not give me all the screws. Uh-oh. Yup. He is missing... Oh wait, there's one more screw there. But there's nothing else. No other screws. No other screws here. Alright. I guess these are one of the things that happen when you purchase from Mech Market. Can't be completely sure what you get. There we go. Okay, I just want to test to make sure that my little repair job hasn't been ruined quite yet. Plug it back in. Does it work? Yes, it still works. Okay, let's be jerks and hammer on it. Let's work on the H key. Pretty good, pretty good. I think we're good. I think we're safe. Dawn Bro Space redeemed hydrate, thank you. Drink what's left of my lassi. Delicious. Alright, we're gonna put the Whitefox caps on next. Let's get rid of this. There we go. Enter. I could have sworn that the enter key was supposed to be blue, but I don't see any blue ones here. There. Up arrow. Escape key. Down arrow. That's a tiny caps lock. Lukey Dookie says, hello Merlin, hello to you too. ZXC QWERTYU S. The star key right there, which I don't know what I can use for. Control. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. A as D, F, G. Oh man, you guys can see the difference here. Look. These are Whitefox keycaps. Look at the D. Look at how it's offset. It's a little bit lower than the S. And the S in and of itself is smaller than both the D and the G. Not exactly the most quality legending job there. Kill it with fire. Looking good, yeah. Looking good. What the heck? Bathy has redeemed Hydrate 200, thank you. Drinking my mango lassi here. Yeah, I'll probably drink it again tomorrow, but with milk. We'll see. You guys will see me have like a milk mustache or something during the group buy stream for tomorrow. 2 question mark. There we go. So you do want an FN key there. Lukey says, I don't like the caps. I don't either, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, you know? It's what the customer sent me, so it's what goes on the board. Oh wait, no, that doesn't go there. I got confused. Tab key. Yeah, believe it or not, at one point in our community, these were actually considered fairly decent. Just gonna replace that with backspace. There we go. Oh my gosh, yeah, this, even amongst the controls, this one's shifted to the right by at least one character. Oh my gosh. GMK White and Black is the only set you need. Oh, those are so smooth. Hey, if you guys are looking for like good smooth switches, just buy JWK anything and you'll be fine. These feel to be the 62G variant, if I'm not mistaken. Got 6 right there. Y. JWK is Bay, yeah. Tangies are a tad smoother. They are a tad smoother, but sound a whole lot worse. That's why I don't like Tangies. Z, X, and C. Oh my. Is he missing a Q key? Oh, there it is. Q key and an O key. There we go. There's the O key. And what? I'm always not very... See, I think that's a... I think that's supposed to be a tilde, right? Tilde goes there. And then pipe goes there. And you can do page up. Then page down. The key. Home. Where's that home? The other home. Home and end. There we go. There we go. I think we're good. Oh look, there's an any key as well. Alright, let's do a typing test. Let's see how this sounds. It's been a while since I've heard an actual Whitefox though. Whitefox. They definitely feel very smooth. I know this is going to trip me up if I make any mistakes because I'm not used to having my backspace there. But it does sound pretty good. Here, let me pause the music and let's do a typing test. Here, let's try doing... Let's see what's a good scene here. Let's do... Lukey can't stand split backspace. I am in the same boat. It's not something I've ever enjoyed. And surprise, surprise, I am not an HHKB user either. There we go, let's do it. Let's do this. There we go. Lukey says, Merlin in IMO Tenjis sound great. I don't think they do just because I don't like the UHM WPE sound. I feel like it adds a little bit more brittleness to the sound. It sounds a little too high-pitched for me. What I did to my Tenjis was replace the top with Cherry MX tops, like actual cherry tops. And personally, I think they sound much better. In fact, I call them tangerines. Alright, let's see how this guy sounds. Let's just make it a little bit larger. Ah! Oh well. Here goes, here goes. Oh, I already screwed up. Let's try that again. $156, 97% accuracy. Not bad. I'm not sure I like... The spacebar doesn't sound bad, I just don't know if I like that sound. Alright, let's do another typing test. 152. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but I tried to delete what I had. And I ended up pressing this guy instead of this guy. Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's give that another shot. Let's find a good one here. A shorter one, even. Actually, let's see how fast I can do with just 25 words. 25 words, here we go. (165) accuracy of 92%. Oh man. Oh man. How about 100? How can I do with 100? Okay, let's aim for accuracy here rather than speed. No. (139) 97%. Yeah, I think actual usable typing speed for me is around 100. Down with V says, hopefully this wasn't asked already, just tuning in, but what's the typical turnaround on a board once I receive it? So it really depends. For example, if you are scheduled for a build for me in 2 months time period, but you send it to me today, it wouldn't be for more than 2 months, right? So typically it's once it's scheduled to be built, I spend an entire week testing it, using it at like QMK programming and all that. And once I verify that the board works for at least a week, then I hand it back to you. So typically like a 2-week turnaround. Of course, that's if nothing goes wrong. Like several of my customers, like I've noticed that one of their switches wasn't like working properly. So they needed to send me more switches in order for me to repair it. So if you guys ever send me a board to build, please send me a couple extras. This particular customer sent me 2 extras, and hopefully by the end of the week, I will not have to use them. Ah, looks like my wife just came home. All right. Let's see. I think I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'll probably be uploading a typing test of this in the near future, just because you don't see SOHO switches very often. If you guys want to see more of this board, definitely tune in tomorrow evening during my group buy news segment, and we will talk about all group buys that are ending and starting for the following week. So guys, I will be heading out. Hope to see you tomorrow evening. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and make sure you stay safe, keep your hands washed, all that cool stuff. Alright guys, see you next time. Ciao.